In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about seated posture and our positional goal for folks who have a tendency to compress at the lower rib cage. So when we're talking about compression of the lower rib cage, what we're usually looking at is the muscles of the back, which kind of go up the side of this rib cage like two columns, one on either side. And so typically what you'll see with these folks is that at this part of their back, they'll thrust forward so their entire rib cage is extending at this lower region. And so for these folks, in order to be able to expand this rib cage back, we actually have to get this part of the back to go back towards the chair a little bit. So it's going to feel to this individual like a slump. Now the caveat here is that when we do this, we're not bringing the sternum and dipping it in, and we're not bringing the head forward or leaning back. What we're simply doing is taking this mid-back area and relaxing it a little bit. So you may have to, with that, also just roll the hips back a little bit so that you come into a little bit more contact with the sit bones. And what that's going to do is that's going to take you from this overly straightened position of the rib cage here to a slightly rounded position there. And then when you're taking your breath in as you're sitting there, you should be able to feel some expansion in that area. If it's hard for you to feel that, what you can do is you can actually bring your legs up and hug them and just do a couple of breaths in that position. And what that's going to do is that's going to kind of force the hips to tuck under and this part of the back to round a little bit. And so just again, to go over that, you're relaxing that elevation of the rib cage, but you're not having the head dip down, you're not having the sternum dip down, and you're not leaning back either. Okay, so once again, that is our movement goal for those who have a little bit too much compression in this lower rib cage and tend to extend the entire rib cage up.